Welcome back, everyone. Toy Shiz here, and can you believe it, boils and ghouls? It's already October 1st. The shadows are growing longer, the pumpkins are glowing brighter, and you know what that means. It's time for a frightfully fun month here on Toy Shiz. We're talking ghoulishly good deep dives into vintage terrors, monstrously cool new releases, and of course, the grand return of my Retrocktober 2025. But beware, we're starting things off with a real scream. Our fiendish friends over at Big Bad Toy Store, more specifically the Big Bad Workshop, have cooked up something wicked. An early look at their latest creature from the Operation Monster Force toy line. It's none other than Halloween Boy. Born from the eerie imagination and storyline of creator Dave Baker, this little terror crawls straight off the page and onto your shelf, ready to haunt you in the best way possible. The packaging is especially exceptional. You have a nice box. It has a flappy opening bit, and you can look at all of the gorgeous artwork by creator Dave Baker, and you can also read up on the storyline for old Halloween Boy. And on the other side, with that window box, you can see him nice, all crisp and clear. On the back side, a dark escalation begins. You can pause this and read up on the entire storyline for Operation Monster Force. Here are all the characters you can collect now at BigBadToyStore.com. I'll put all the links down in the description below, as well as everyone involved with the creation of these figures, so thank you very much for that. And be sure to check out HeyDaveBaker.com so you can learn more about Halloween Boy along with all of Dave Baker's wild, awesome artwork and comic books. But what kind of Retrocktober would this be without a proper giveaway? So stay tuned till the end of this video, and I'll show you how you can enter to win a one-of-a-kind action figure courtesy of Big Bad Workshop. But in the meantime, this is going to be a spooktacular blast. So sit back, relax, grab yourself a nice hot pumpkin spice latte, grab your candy, lock the doors, and keep those jack-o'-lanterns lit. This is a look at the brand new Halloween Boy from the Big Bad Toy Store, Big Bad Workshop, Operation Monster Force toy line. Here we go. And right before we get started, I just want to say a quick thank you to everyone who continues to watch my YouTube channel, and if you haven't already, please do consider subscribing. Why? Well, we have old toys, new toys, daily news updates. Guarantee you'll find something here that you like a Halloween Boy. So now here's everything taken out of the packaging. You do get 3 sets of hands. Open hands, fisted hands, and trigger finger hands, and all of them have a nice wash to them. They're a little bit of a heavier plastic, which I definitely appreciate, and they have a nice sculpt overall. You're definitely going to utilize a trigger finger hand with all the weapons you're going to see, but those extra little open hands and whatnot definitely aid in further bringing the character to life, and then, of course, posing him out with all the accompanying articulation. And speaking of the hands, you need some cool-looking weapons, of which Halloween Boy definitely does have. I like the wash on the guns. It definitely aids in bringing it to life. It's pretty cool overall, and plus, it has a removable magazine, which they've gone to the length of painting one gold bullet at the very tip top. That's not something they have to do, but it definitely improves upon the whole gun element. And plus, you do have a silencer tip, which affixes right to the gun itself, and bingo bango, you've had a little bit extra added to it. You can remove, you can customize, you can do whatever you like. But the fact of the matter is, that looks like one sweet big gun. You also have some blast effects, smoke effects to attach to each of the weapons. They're all a little bit different from small, medium to large, and then you get one smoke effect like you've been firing them all day. They're all pretty cool. Orange plastic, clear plastic for the smoke, and they are all totally effective. The fiery sword, though, is one of my favorite accessories in the box. That sculpted head right there is amazing. You got red eyes amidst the blue face with all the fangs. The backside looks like silver flesh. It's just really ornate overall. And plus, with the blade right here, with the fire effect, it is removable. It's a simple clip-on effect, but it is effective, and that's all you really need. But the best part is that while it clips on, and you could have it go up or down, whatever, it will not fall off the sword. That's really most important when you're posing this Halloween Boy out and you don't want parts and pieces that go flying. Now, a really cool element to add to this, and also some pretty great brand recognition, is the stand, which clearly says Operation Monster Force. You got 2 pegs. It kind of looks like a broken piece of marble or gravestone, Halloween boy. And like I said, right front and center, Operation Monster Force, so that when you have these figures on display, there's really no question to what you're looking at. And that is a really smart decision. And of course, here's the figure itself, which I really had no idea what to expect. I thought, oh, it's going to be something in the vein of Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, maybe Valaverse, something like that. But it really is its own feel in and of itself, while being heavily reminiscent of figures that you probably already have in your collection. The best way to describe it is that think of a G.I. Joe Classified with the solidity and the awesomeness that was Diamond Select back in the day, but plenty more articulation, if that makes any sense. He has lots of weapon storage, including 2 pistols, which slip into the holsters on either sides of his legs. That is a nice touch. Then as you come up, you got some elbow pads, which you can leave off if you so desire. You can move these around at your desire, and it all looks and works well within the context of moving this figure around. Up here on the vest, you have some weapon storage again for the knife, which you can sheath or unsheath at your leisure. It has a nice silver blade to it. You have bullets, you have grenades, you have pouches. Cable would be jealous of this figure, but all of which can be removed, swapped out. It's whatever you'd like to display it as. But just keep in mind that these can fall out, but you really have to yank them out, if anything. One of the only gripes I would say is that I wish this gun had a strap so that you could sling it over his shoulder and just have that much more weapon storage. But right here, you can see some clips, which methinks that perhaps the belt, the vest will be utilized for other figures. Maybe have some weapon packs, something to really attach to this figure at some point. The head portrait is very reminiscent of Dave Baker's artwork in a more realistic sense. And I love the domino mask with the ears right there. That is a really nice touch. But the smile, the teeth, everything works well with the skull right there on his forehead. The orange and black motif of his costume, his jumpsuit, really does scream the spooky season. So for that alone, yes, he definitely lives up to his name. But I like that most of the black elements have a silver wash, which again, just highlights him that much more. It's not just looking at flat black or orange plastic. There's a little bit more of an artistic flair to it. The articulation, I will tell you this, I would heat him up just to be on the safe side when you first get this figure. Nothing was that crazy, but I always say, if there's a little bit of a stuck joint here and there, feel free. Run them under some hot water, something like that. Once you get them going, the articulation is really solid. I particularly like the drop-down hips. You also have thigh swivel, double-jointed knees, double-jointed elbows, everything else. And I like that none of the artillery or anything else that's strapped to this figure gets in the way of the articulation. He has plenty of feet rotation up, down, left, and right. Perhaps heat those up as well. You got boot articulation. Everything works. Everything poses out. If you're a photographer, you're going to have a field day with this type of toy. There is a little bit of ab crunch to him. It's nothing crazy. It's nothing wild, but it is there and does aid in posing him out. The vest, you can remove it if you so desire, but why? It's part of his costume. It just looks good as is. You'll have to fiddle with the elbow pads from time to time. Some of the straps can get well within the articulation point of the double joints, but as you move them around, you'll figure it out how it all works, and it's not something that hinders the articulation by any means, but they're just something you'll have to move around as you move the figure around. With the arms, no problemos there. You get them going all the way up, all the way down. You got bicep swivel, and you got plenty of articulation in the hands, and the hands also swap beautifully with nothing being loose. The only gripe I would say is in the neck. While you do get plenty of rotation left, right, and down, I would have liked if you could just have him look up just a little bit more. That's really the only problemo that I have with this figure. Overall, the paint is pretty solid. I like the customizable options, the weaponry, and everything else that really personifies the character that Dave Baker has created here. The weapons, the blast effects, as I said previously, if you're a photographer, if you're one of those people that really love to fidget with your figures and really pose them out on a day-to-day basis, yes, this will definitely be a lot of fun for you to tangle with on your toy shelf. The posing that you can really achieve with this guy, we've seen it before. Like I said, Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, things of that nature. And in this particular pose, this is where a little bit more of a neck looking up would have been great. And you can utilize the ab crunch if you truly desire to get him more in those poses. And that way you can drop the arms down with the guns ablazing and have him do his best Boondock Saints recreation. The articulation coupled with the larger weapons, the hands and everything else, you can get him crouching down, hunting his enemies, going to be taking down a Dracula or two. Yeah, you can definitely pose him out accordingly. And in utilizing the giant blast effect for this giant gun, heck yeah, any hordes of the undead are instantly going to be mowed down. But I gotta say, as much as I like all the artillery, I really enjoyed this flaming fiery sword. It's just really cool. Although what I would have liked to have seen is more of a solid gripping hand. Instead of one trigger finger out, which those are the hands you'll have to utilize, something more in the vein of a hand that has a tight-knit grip. But again, what's nice with the sword is that he poses really well. You can have him do the two-handed grip, and on top of it, because of the articulation in the wrists, you can have that sword well above his head doing his best He-Man impression. If you're wondering the scaling on this figure, yes, he is around that 6-inch mark, so he'll go well with Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe Classified, Valaverse, and the like. When it comes to 7-inch scale, perhaps NECA Toys, McFarlane Toys, he's going to be entirely too small. So he sits best with other figures on your shelf in and around the 6 to 6.5 inch mark. But for those of you retro collectors out there, if you have a nice spooky season shelf going on, that you're definitely going to want to add Halloween Boy to it. He's not going to fit in beautifully with the whole retro aesthetic, but hey, he's a big orange and black ghoulish dude. He's going to look well with the rest of the ghoulies on your toy shelf. Alright, if you've stuck it out this far, first off, thank you, because now you get to see the awesome giveaway we're hosting thanks to our fiendish friends over at Big Bad Workshop. Up for grabs, a one-of-a-kind Donner Party action figure test shot piece. That's right, a true prototype collectible that's the perfect creepy cool addition to your Operation Monster Force shelf. Entering is super easy. Just head over to my Instagram, the direct link is in the description below, and enter right now. The giveaway will run for 2 weeks, and I'll be announcing the lucky winner on October 14th. A huge thank you again to Big Bad Workshop and BBTS for making this possible. Now quit stalling and go enter. You don't want to miss this. So, that's going to wrap it up for my quick look at the brand new Operation Monster Force Halloween Boy. Overall, it's a pretty solid action figure and one that perfectly encapsulates the October fall season. He's all clad in orange and black. He's got weapons galore and a big old fiery sword. What's not to love? Maybe a few touches of paint here and there and work on that neck articulation and we'll call it square. But as always, I'm curious to know what you guys think. So comment below, let me know. Let's talk everything Halloween Boy. And until the next one, I will leave you guys with that. Adios.